What's going on, guys? Welcome back to WWE Network and Chill, where every single week I, Graham G.S. and Matthews, break down all the original content on the WWE Network, including on the E! Network, with new episodes of Total Divas every single Wednesday. We had Season 8, Episode 2 this past Wednesday night, entitled This Is My House, taking place over WrestleMania 34 weekend in New Orleans this past April. Pretty good episode overall, covering a few different things with the Bellas, Natalya, Nia Jax, Paige, first and foremost. We'll begin all that momentarily. As I usually do, breaking down each subplot of the show individually and not like a play-by-play. It's just a lot easier that way. But before we get started, new episodes of Network and Chill are up. Usually twice a week with new episodes of Total Divas, new reviews of Total Divas going up every single week, and whatever new airs on the network after Raw on Mondays, including this week, new episode of Photo Shoot featuring the Reza Ramon, the one and only Scott Hall, airing after Raw this past Monday. Check out my review of that show from just a few days ago here on Network and Chill. So we kicked off the episode here of Season 8, Episode 2, This Is My House of Total Divas, with WrestleMania 34 weekend in New Orleans. Every new season seems to kind of kick off with a new WrestleMania. I think that's kind of been the case since the series premiere about 5 years ago, because they kicked off Episode 1 with, I think WrestleMania 29. I'm almost positive, because that was when the Bella Twins and Naomi and Cameron were kicked off the show, because their match was cut for time or something like that. So, I think every new season kind of kicks off with a new WrestleMania, including this one, WrestleMania 34. It has officially arrived. Nikki Bella wishes that she was in the ring for the show, but still happy to be there nonetheless. There are 4 women's matches on the card, between Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's Championship, Charlotte Flair and Asuka for the SmackDown Women's Championship. They have Ronda Rousey making her in-ring debut alongside Kurt Angle against the Authorities, Triple H and Stephanie, and also the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal on the kickoff show. Natalya comes up, and she kind of continues the tension that was teased between her and her husband, TJ Wilson, otherwise, better known as Tyson Kidd, from the last episode, saying that she feels unimportant by him, all this other shit, saying that, it's one of the biggest days of the year. This might be her WrestleMania moment. I think she was at WrestleMania. Yeah, she was at WrestleMania 33, but this is another big match for her, another WrestleMania match for her. She feels unimportant by her own husband, saying that, he's kind of taking it hard on her and that he doesn't care and that he's really not complimenting her. So typical Natalya getting all emotional in typical Natalya fashion. Paige tries to fix the situation. Nothing is solved from that whatsoever. There's still tension there nonetheless. She just wants him to be supportive and to be nice to her, which I guess is a small favor to ask. But she's kind of needy in that respect, and she's been like this since season 1. Natalya has constantly been like that. But yeah, that kind of continues on this show, and she's feeling the pressure of WrestleMania, and she just wants her husband's support, and she's not getting it. Paige just tells her, you got to feel confident. He can't be around every fucking 10 seconds to tell you, I love you. You got to be confident in yourself, blah, blah, blah. You got to feel confident in yourself before anyone can be confident in you. And that's what the advice that she kind of relays to Natalya. Meanwhile, the Bellas are excited for Daniel Bryan's in-ring return, which I think we already saw footage of on the Total Bellas season finale of season 3 a couple months back. Which is why they didn't really go in-depth with it here, because we already saw all of this footage for the most part, with Daniel Bryan getting back in the ring back in the season 3 finale of Total Bellas a few months ago. The Bellas also give TJ advice and tell him to compliment Natalya more, that women appreciate the small things, blah, 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 and just to kind of go make a little extra of an effort to make her feel wanted or complimented or whatever, just to be nice to her. And he kind of takes that advice and does something else for Natalya a little later on. But anyway, Naomi takes part in the first ever Women's WrestleMania Battle Royal and wins the entire thing. Nothing is really accomplished by winning the Battle Royal, just because, there's no title shot on the line. There's nothing on the line whatsoever. It's just the honor of becoming the inaugural WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal winner. So I'm not really sure, again, what that purpose served. But yeah, she wins it. She gets emotional about it. She's happy to have made history. Meanwhile, TJ surprises Natalya backstage with a card saying congrats on WrestleMania, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. Nikki Bella and the rest of the women's locker room were interested in Ronda Rousey's in-ring debut on the show. Naomi did not expect her to be that good that fast. I don't think anyone did. She exceeded all expectations, had a great showing, emerged victorious alongside Kurt Angle. So I'm not really sure why they're showing the Ronda Rousey thing. I know Ronda Rousey's a big star, but she's never going to be on Total Divas, so that was a little weird. But they want to capitalize off of it because Ronda Rousey's a fucking big name, so I don't blame them. But the Bellas, to make up for the fans that Natalya promised would be able to meet the Bellas and do all that other shit with the whole Birdie Bee stuff. The Bellas make up to those fans. They make it up to those fans by having breakfast with them, which they feel goes very, very well. And Bree's like the new president of Birdie Bee because the latest president left, I guess. And she wants to be more hands-on president moving forward. So also on the show, we had Nia Jax getting ready for her Raw Women's Championship match alongside, or against Alexa Bliss, rather, for the Raw Women's title. Obviously very nervous. She didn't sleep the night before. She realizes that she's the bigger girl in the locker room and feels insecure about that, especially in front of so many people at WrestleMania. She was at WrestleMania the year before, but this is a one-on-one matchup, so it's a little different. But Nikki Bella's kind of around her to boost her spirits, make her feel more confident in herself, and Nia just wants to deliver. And she also kind of feels the extra pressure in having to follow Ronda Rousey's in-ring debut, which went off without a hitch, like I said earlier. So she's kind of got that going for her and all this other stuff. And Ronda Rousey obviously won her match. They kind of make it seem like Nia Jax has to follow Ronda Rousey's match like immediately afterwards, even though Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss did not go on until later on in the show. There were at least 2 or 3 other matches in between the tag team match, the mixed tag team match, and then Nia and Alexa for the Raw Women's title. But it goes well. The match was fine. She talked about her and Bliss and Nia have barely talked at all, which was weird, but you know, they bring that up. Maybe that's a storyline. I don't know if that's a shoot. I'm not exactly sure because obviously they were good friends on the season 7 of Total Divas a couple months ago, earlier this year, whatever. So yeah, she wins the championship. She says it's incredible to have won the title at WrestleMania. She gets really emotional backstage. So that's that. And the final subplot on this show was Paige and her retirement, her pending retirement from the ring in WWE. She kind of talks to her pupil, Sonya Deville, backstage, a fellow member of Absolution, and talks about how Sonya is making her WrestleMania debut in the same arena, or the same, city, rather, that Paige did 4 years earlier, which is where she debuted on Raw after WrestleMania 30. So they kind of revel in that moment. Paige gets advice from Daniel Bryan backstage. He kind of just advises her to stay positive, not feel bad for yourself, and just focus on those positives. And that's what's going to help get you through. Even though I know you so badly want to be back in the ring, you kind of try to have to make the most of it. So that advice from Bryan helps Paige out a lot in this episode. It also gives her hope too, because Bryan was not medically cleared for a really, really long time. And it wasn't until they kind of took an extra look at his case and he was cleared to compete again earlier this year. So again, with Paige, it's kind of a different situation. It's a neck thing and not a concussion thing. So it's not going to happen with her, but she still has hope that she can get back in the ring at some point down the road. So she does commentary for the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal. I mean, she obviously wishes she could be a part of it, but being a part of the show in some capacity is better than nothing, and she recognizes that. So Absolution goes out after WrestleMania on the Raw, or the Monday before Raw, that Monday night, checking out Bourbon Street. Lana is texting Mandy Rose like in obsessive fashion for whatever reason. So anyway, the girls are backstage right before Raw, just saying they want what's best for Paige. Paige goes out and to deliver her retirement speech from the ring. She says she doesn't want to say goodbye, but knows that it has to happen. And she announces her retirement, and the speech was great. It was a really emotional moment, especially considering that she's not really that old. She's only like 24, 25, 26 years old. She's relatively young. And she had to retire from the ring at such a young age due to her, neck injury. So they kind of show the footage of her promo. She maintains a positive attitude about it, walking out of Raw that night. Obviously, the next night on SmackDown, which is where she was named the new general manager of SmackDown Live. They're probably going to save that either for the next episode or an episode after that. But it was a good note to end on for this episode, with Paige announcing her in-ring retirement and just excited for the next chapter in her life. So that does it for Season 8, Episode 2 of Total Divas, entitled This Is My House. You can check it out on the E! Network. They might have it on demand. Next episode airs this coming Wednesday, I believe after NXT at 9 p.m., same time as the Mae Young Classic, on the E! Network, so be sure to check that out. As for this video, be sure to check it out, guys. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more content, share the video, drop a comment. All that stuff is amazingly appreciated. Be sure to have a great rest of your weekend. We'll be back with a new Network and Chill either on Monday or Tuesday, likely Tuesday right here on the channel. Till then, have a great rest of your weekend. As I said, folks, I'm Graham G.S. Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.